Hello there. People often ask me about the secret to wealth, that one magic key that unlocks everything, that hidden piece of knowledge the rich possess that eludes everyone else. And my answer is always the same. It's not a secret at all, not really. It's in plain sight, available to anyone who bothers to look. The real secret is that most people are too rushed, too distracted to notice it. They're straining to hear a shout when the answer is delivered in a whisper. They're chasing after the loud, flashy object, while the quiet, consistent force sits patiently in the corner, compounding year after year. But today, I thought we could discuss one of the most misunderstood and frankly frightening aspects of this whole equation for many people. It's an idea that gets a terrible reputation, and often for good reason. But when you truly understand it, when you grasp its essence, it's like learning to harness fire to cook your food and heat your home, instead of letting it burn everything to the ground. I'm talking about debt. Now I can practically see some of your expressions. I can anticipate the comments. Warren, the champion of living within your means, the man who still resides in a modest house he bought last century, the very fellow who said, and I firmly believe this, that if you're smart, you don't need debt, and if you're not, you have no business using it, is now talking about using debt. Well, yes, but not in the way you might think, not in the way most people experience it. You see, for most, debt is a shackle, a heavy, cold weight dragging them down. You finance a car, and it starts depreciating the moment you drive it off the lot. You're paying for a shrinking asset with money you haven't even earned yet. You finance a television, a boat, a vacation, and you're paying for a memory, for an experience that fades long after it's over. That's consumption debt, and that, my friends, is a poverty trap. It's borrowing from your future self to pay for your past, for things that are already gone, leaving only the bill behind. But the wealthy, the truly wealthy, the ones building something enduring, they see debt as a different instrument altogether. They see it as leverage, a fulcrum, a way to move a larger object with less of their own force. Not for consumption, heavens no, but for construction, for acquisition. And this is the part the bank doesn't exactly highlight. They're perfectly happy, even delighted, to lend you money for that new car, that fancy boat. The interest is high, their risk is low because they can repossess the asset, and they know you're emotionally attached to it. It's easy money for them. But when you approach them and say, "I'd like to borrow $1 million to buy an apartment building that generates consistent cash flow," or "I'd like a line of credit to acquire a thriving small business," well, suddenly the gates go up. Suddenly they want to scrutinize your tax returns for the past 3 years, your business plan, your personal balance sheet. They put you through the ringer. It's a curious thing, you see. They'll offer you an umbrella when the sun is shining, but demand it back the moment it looks like rain. But if you can demonstrate you're a skilled sailor, if you can prove you have a sturdy ship and a reliable map, well, then you can secure that umbrella on favorable terms, and oh my, what you can accomplish with it. Let me take you back, way back, before the gray hair, to a young man in Omaha. I wasn't always the Oracle of Omaha. That's just a newspaper headline, not reality. I was simply a kid fascinated by numbers, by probabilities, and who saw the world from a slightly different angle than his peers. One of my first real business ventures wasn't stocks, not yet. It was pinball machines. I was 16, 17? My friend Dan and I scraped together $25 and bought a used pinball machine. It was a bit rough around the edges, but it worked. We then convinced a barber we knew to let us place it in the corner of his shop. We told him we'll split the profits. And guess what? After the first day, we returned to find $4 in that machine. $4. Now, I could have taken my $2 share and spent it, a decent meal, a movie with a girl. That's consumption. That's the end of the story. The money is gone, and and all you have is a full stomach and a memory. But that's not what we did. We took those earnings, that capital, and we bought another machine, and then another. We weren't going into debt, not then. We were too young. Nobody would have lent to us. But we were learning a fundamental principle, the principle of using capital to acquire income-producing assets. We were building a tiny mechanical army that worked for us 24 hours a day. The debt part came later, and it came with a lesson I'll never forget, a lesson about risk, terms, and the cost of money. You know, I appreciate simple analogies. I think life and business are overly complicated without them. My partner, Charlie Munger, is a strong believer in mental models, simple ideas from different fields that help you see the world more clearly. So let's use a simple one. Let's imagine you as a farmer. You own a plot of land, a good, fertile 1-acre plot. That's your equity, your savings, the hard-earned capital you've accumulated over years of labor. Now you want to plant corn. You have enough seed saved to plant your 1 acre. It's quality seed, you've tested it, you know it will grow, and 1 acre will feed you and your family. Maybe you'll have a little extra to sell at the market. It's a living, a modest one. But then you hear that the farmer next door, who's older and retiring, is willing to rent you his 9 other acres at a very fair price for the growing season. It's a fantastic opportunity, but you have a problem. You don't have the funds to buy 9 acres worth of seed. Your savings are tied up in your own land and your 1 acre worth of seed. That's where the bank or the seed merchant can step in. You approach them, perhaps a little apprehensive but confident. You say, "I have a proven track record. I'm a skilled farmer. I own 1 acre of land free and clear and 1 acre worth of seed. Lend me the seed for the other 9 acres. I'll repay you from the harvest with interest, and if I fail, you can seize my 1 acre of land as collateral." Well, if you're a good farmer, if your soil is fertile, if you know how to cultivate it, and if the weather cooperates, what happens? You reap a harvest from 10 acres, not just 1. You take that harvest, you return to the seed merchant, you give him back the exact amount of seed he lent you, plus the additional bushels you agreed upon as interest, and you're left with a bounty, a mountain of corn that is many times greater than what you would have had if you had farmed only your single acre. That is the productive, the intelligent use of debt. You're not borrowing to consume the seed corn. You're borrowing to plant more of it. You're using other people's resources to dramatically increase the yield on your own intelligence, your own skill, and your own initial capital. The key, you see, the entire mechanism hinges on the spread, the difference between what the asset earns and what the debt costs. If you borrow seed from the merchant at an effective interest rate of 5%, but your farmland, through your skill and the fertility of the soil, produces a 15% return on that borrowed seed, well, you're pocketing that 10% difference, and you're doing it on money you didn't have to save for your entire life. That 10% spread is pure profit generated by your acumen and the leverage provided by the debt. That spread, that flywheel, that once it starts spinning builds incredible momentum. The rich understand this intuitively. They don't use debt to buy liabilities that inevitably decline in value. They use debt very carefully, very deliberately to acquire assets that appreciate or at the very least generate reliable cash flow. The classic example is real estate. They buy an apartment building, they put down 20 or 30% of their own money, they borrow the rest from the bank, the rent from the tenants covers the mortgage, the property taxes, the insurance, the upkeep, and if you've bought wisely, it puts a little extra cash flow in your pocket each and every month. That's the spread. The rent is your 15% return, the mortgage is your 5% cost, and all the while someone else, the tenant, is paying down the principal on that loan. They are month by month gifting you equity. They are buying the building for you piece by piece.
After 20, 30 years, the mortgage is paid off, it's gone, but the building is still there, still producing rent, and now 100% of that cash flow is yours, free and clear. You've used the bank's money and other people's money, the rent, to build your own equity, your own fortress of cash-flowing assets. It's the same principle with a business. If you can borrow money at 4% to buy a wonderful business, a business with a durable competitive advantage, what I call a moat that consistently earns 12% or more on its capital, why on earth wouldn't you? Provided, of course, you're certain about that 12%, or as certain as one can ever be in this unpredictable world. That's the other side of the coin, the risk. The reason this tool is so feared, and for good reason, because debt is a double-edged sword. It amplifies everything.